This is the third video of the tutorial for creating a new website. So in the previous two tutorials, we connected our web project to the database. We also created our first report based on the part table. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a web form that allows user to insert new entries to the table of the SQL Server database. So to do that, let's again highlight the project name, right click, and let's add a web form. I'm going to name this as suppliers underscore form. Click OK. So by default, I see the source view of this new page. So let me go to design view. And similarly, the first thing I want to do is to give a title for this page. So I want to name this as suppliers. And let me change the font to heading. Okay. So let me press enter on my keyboard to give some spaces. So now I want to connect the supplier table to this web page so that user can use this web page to enter new data to the supplier table. So to do that, I need to go to Server Explorer, okay, and let me expand my tables. And now I need to connect the supplier table to this web form. So to do that, again, let me highlight the table and let me drag and drop the table to the web form. Okay, so let me drag and drop here. So you can see that we have this table again, but then these tables are based on the existing data that we have in the current table. So I'm going to delete this grid view. So I'm going to highlight this table and delete this grid view. So make sure that you don't delete the data source because we need the SQL data source for the web report for the web form later on. So let me hit delete on the keyboard. So now that I deleted the table, I want to add a few spaces between supplier and my SQL data source. So now the next thing I want to do is to add a form view to this table. So to do that, let me go to View. Let me open Toolbox. So this will open a toolbox window. And I need to add a form view. So this is under Data. So let me move down to Data. And I want a form view. So I'm going to drag and drop this to the space between supplier and the SQL data source. Okay. So I can choose the data source to SQL data source 1. Okay. And I can refresh schema. So you can see now I have the supplier name, supplier number, supplier name, address, city, state, phone number. Okay, so now user will be able to add new entries to the data. So now let me save. So now I can go ahead and publish the website again. So now I will have additional web form. So let me go to build, let me publish, and I will click publish. So again, this may take a few seconds to publish the website to the internet. So once the publishing is done, you can see a confirmation in the output window saying published 1 succeeded, 0 failed, and 0 skipped. So if you receive a confirmation message like this, that means you successfully published your website to the internet. So now let's go back to the web browser And this time I'm going to the new page, which is suppliers_form.aspx. So every time you republish a website, the first time you open the site, it may take a couple of seconds to load the data. So now that you can see, I have my supplier web page, and on this web page, I can edit existing view. Okay, I can edit existing data. I can also create a new data. Okay, I can insert new suppliers. I can also delete existing suppliers. So this is an example of a web form that allows user to add data to an existing database.